family, late friend and brother, General Joseph Nkaissery, fellow mourners, let me begin first and foremost on my own behalf of my wife and my family, to express to you, Mama Helen, our deepest sympathy and condolences on the loss of your husband, father to your children, and without a doubt, the loss of one of the greatest leaders of our time. I met General Nkaissery. He didn't appreciate me calling him retired. He always preferred me calling him General. General Nkaissery, as a very young man, as a friend of my cousin Kongo, who was up here earlier. And then later, meeting up again as Project Uhuru in going there the 90s and into the 2000s. When I met him then, I was introduced to him by President Moi, who was very keen that I should get to know a few individuals who he thought it was important that I should get to know well, because there are people, he said, that I should work with. And General Nkaissery, Yusuf Haji, the late Bonaya Godana, just to mention a few, were people who he said, if you work with these people, you can make great things happen in this country. I want to say that I was very surprised even when the general at that time said he wanted to quit and join politics, because I was keener at that stage. I was saying, why are you quitting? Because you know, si tuliongea na mzee Moi, you know, wewe utakuwa CDF wangu chief, sasa wewe unaondoka. Sasa hapana, I want to be in politics. I think I can play a greater role in politics. He joined politics. Our hopes were suddenly trashed when a few of our colleagues who thought it should have been them decided to abandon us halfway and went to join the opposition. And rather than find ourselves in government, we found ourselves in the opposition benches. General said we must take life in stride. And that's the beautiful thing about the man. This is where we were going, but this is where we are. We pick up the pieces from there. And together with them and a few others, we crafted our government in opposition. But General always used to remind us, no, this is not the government in opposition. This is government in waiting. If you say opposition, we shall never leave the opposition. We are a government in waiting. And we worked together for 5 years until the run-up again to the 2007 general elections. where again the same thing that happened in 2002 happened. I tried to convince General to stay with me in Kano. My friend here, William, had other thoughts at the time. Tried to tell them, we said we were a government in waiting. There is no need to sit in the opposition benches. But William was convinced that, and others, that it was going to be the alternative. So we sort of parted ways. Went through that particular period. Formed government again. This time together, it was a coalition government after the problems that we faced. And we continued on until 2013, when again, political realignments. My friend William decided, no, it's time we get together again, so we got together again. And this time we did form government. And when we formed government, the one person I really, truly felt we missed was General Nkaissery. And as we formed government and moved forward, we had all sorts of issues at the time I don't wish to repeat, especially in the security sector, that required a major overhaul of how we did things. I was forced to go back to say, we had discussed way back in the 90s of how we would do these things. And I called General Nkaissery and I said, let's forget about these barriers. Why don't you come and let's just rekindle what we started? General did not hesitate even for 5 minutes. His point was, I was waiting for you to call me so that we can get to work. And we've started. And I want to be very clear that the General was not just a man of dignity, but he was a man of commitment. He was loyal, but most importantly, he was dedicated to Kenya. Totally dedicated to Kenya. The cleanup that he did within that particular ministry, the support he gave me in terms of reorganizing the security sector, is something I personally shall never forget. General was a stickler for discipline. The General was a man of order. But most importantly, the General had a very soft spot for those that he cared for. I am going to miss a friend. I am going to miss a colleague. Less than a month ago, we were at State House one evening and we were just going through a few things. And he raised an issue and I told him, General, I'm going into my last election. This is going to be my last one. And after that, I'm going into retirement. But I don't know what I'm going to do with myself since I figure out, I'm still kind of young. In fact, when William talks of 1966, the other day I was in a bit of a panic. because we went somewhere and somebody was asking me how old I am. And then I realized I need to ask William, are you still 50? So I was calculating 50. And I was telling him, I've been very concerned. 50, 2022, he'll be 55. Because I thought he was going to take away the mantle too soon of me being the youngest president ever to be elected in this republic. So I was a bit concerned. So when I realized he was going to be 55, I said, I'll support you, we'll continue. But when I said that, he said, no, there'll be plenty of things to do, because I also intend to retire with you. And when we retire, there are many things that we are going to be able to do together that we haven't had the time to do. I am going to miss walking in retirement with General Nkaissery. I am going to miss walking with a man of passion. I am going to miss walking with a friend who truly cared for me. Not just as president, he cared for me as a friend and a fellow human being. To the family, Mommy, you can count on me. Always. In and out of government, I shall always be there for you and your family. To my fellow Kenyans, let us also realize we can compete. We can have differences in ideas, but let us all be led by the singular thing: love and passion for Kenya. If we are led by our love and our passion for Kenya and our desire to make a difference for the better for our people and our nation, we should never, ever, ever contemplate anything but peace before, during, and after the general election. It matters not who wins. It matters the future of our people, the prosperity of our nation, and the togetherness and unity that comes with all of us calling ourselves sons of this great nation of Kenya. May the Almighty God rest his soul in eternal peace. Rest well, dear brother, and we will continue with where you have left off. And we pray, and join us in that prayer, utuombee ukiwa huko na wale wengine ambao wamependa taifa lao, that those of us left behind will make a difference, will make a change, will leave Kenya a better place than we found it, because that was your dream, and that is a dream that we share. And I invite each and every one of us, all 45 million, to join us in that prayer for peace, for prosperity, and a better nation for all of us. May God bless you.